Konnichiwa minasan, this is your host Andy and welcome to a new video of Nailing Japanese. In the previous video, we went through some useful tips on how to learn kanji in a smart and an efficient way. Today, we'll have a look at different groups of kanji. The more we understand the basic, the more solid our fundament is, the easier the learning process is going to be. So our goal is not going to be just to memorize the kanji, but we'll understand them. So let's have a closer look now. The first category is pictograms or shokei in Japanese. For beginners, those are the easiest to learn since they're a simplified drawing of a thing, an object, or a living animal. I'll give you 5 seconds. Can you guess which kanji are they representing? The first one is cow, ushi. The second one is ai, me. The third one is sheep, hitsuji. And the last one is yumi, bow. This is pretty straightforward, isn't it? In the second category, and slightly more abstract than the previous one, it's called shiji, or simple ideograph in English. What's an ideograph? Well, the simplified definition says that an ideograph is a symbol that represents an idea. Some of those are extremely straightforward, as the well-known ichi, ni, san, 1, 2, and 3. We and chita represent up and below, as the longer horizontal line represents the horizon. Then we have another example, hiku, to pull, which represents a bow and the mark of pulling direction. Another interesting case of ideographs that share the same concept are hon and sue. As you can see, they both use the kanji of tree and focus on the two extremities. The top one indicates the tip or the end, while the bottom of the tree represents the origin. The third one, the compound ideograph, kai. Personally the most fascinating one, since it creates a new meaning by combining two kanji. Sometimes they're sort of obvious, but from time to time the meaning will require a bit of explanation, but once you'll understand it, the meaning will be super easy and fun to remember. In the first example, we have the pictograms of sun and the moon next to each other. What do they have in common? They bright, which is akarui. The rui part is called okurigana, and it's a suffix written in hiragana that follows kanji. In the next one, we have the sun rising behind the tree. Where does it rise from? East. Correct, it's hikashi. The third one is a person next to a tree. What is he doing? He's taking a break. He's resting. And that's how we have yasumu. The last category that we will examine is by far the one that counts the highest number of kanji. Up to 80% of them belongs here in this group. Keisei, or phono-semantic compound. The name is a bit scary, but there's nothing to fear. These compounds kanji are formed by two components. The radical on the top, or to the left, as we studied in the previous video, gives us the category, while the second component on the bottom or to the right gives us the pronunciation. Keep in mind that the pronunciation will be the onyomi, the Chinese reading, and not the kunyomi. So let's move on with some practical example, and everything will be clear and bright as the moon and sun together. The kanji for cover and wrap gives us the pronunciation, which is whole. When we find it next to the radical hen, we get the kanji for embrace, hug. So the meaning is again given by the radical, since covering someone with your hands can be seen as a hug. In the meantime, the pronunciation doesn't change and it's still whole. We'll find this kanji in several words such as hoyo, embrace, and hofu for ambition. Here, in this case, there is a connection between the meaning of the kanji before and after the radical, but keep in mind that most of the time there's not. If we take the kanji sai, which means colorful and appearance, and we add the grass radical on top of it, we obtain a new kanji, sai, and it means vegetable dish. This kanji takes the meaning from the radical, but the pronunciation stays the same. We'll find it, for example, in the word yasai, vegetable, and zensai, appetizer. If we add the radical of hen instead, we'll obtain the kanji that means to pick or harvest, but the pronunciation stays the same, because it's again the second component defining it. In this way, we'll be able to read and understand more complex kanji such as saiyou suru, that means to employ, to adopt, and saiten, which means score. We've just gone through 4 groups of kanji: shokei, shiji, kai, and keisei. There are actually 2 more categories, loanwords and derivatives, but we are not going to talk about them since they are way too abstract and advanced. Most of the time, not even native speakers know them. From time to time, you can feel like a modern-day Sherlock Holmes investigating kanji, their meaning, and their pronunciation. It can be painful, but it can also bring a lot of sense of achievement in your life. Before we say goodbye, I want to show you a list of the most used radicals, the one that we reckon you should learn first and that will grant you a wider understanding of the kanji during your studies, especially the first 6. We'll tackle them in future videos and we'll help you memorizing them. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.